It is known that in the beginning of the month of Nisan, this was the time of the inauguration of the Tabernacle, the temple that our people built in the desert, was on the first day of the first month. According to most opinions, and as Rashi explains also, the Parshat Shmini, which we just read the last Shabbat, that actually happened on the 1st of Nisan. So it's almost, this year almost falls in the same time period. We just read last Shabbat, the 8th day of inauguration, when Aaron started serving in the temple. Before that, Moshe served for 7 days. So according to Chazal, the last 7 days of Adar were the 7 Yemei Miluim when Moshe served. And then what is written in the beginning of Parshat Shmini, that was the 8th day, was the 1st of Nisan. Rashi brings all this, and Seder Olam, one of the most authoritative midrashim that deals with timing, chronology. So it brings that the 8th day was the first day of Nisan. So because of the princes that also brought their karbanot during these days, that's not written here, by the way, that's written in the Torah later in the book of Bamidbar. So they were bringing in Parshat Naso, each prince brought certain offerings, and this was happening from the first day till the 12th day. Because of that, these days are still, even though, of course, this was a one-time procedure, but these days are still considered somewhat a celebration, somewhat a type of holiday, and together with the fact that almost immediately afterwards the holiday of Pesach, the Passover comes, so most of the month is already holy. And that's why the custom is not to say Tachanun the entire month. We have a source in Masechet Sofrim. There is a tractate which is not part of regular Babylonian Talmud, but it's very authoritative, and in a lot of our customs on how we pray and how we read the Torah, a lot of them are based on this Masechet Sofrim. So we have this idea not to fast during Nisan. It's mentioned in Masechet Sofrim, except for Bechorot, except for the firstborn. It's interesting, right? That the Talmud nowhere mentions that the firstborn should fast on the day before Pesach. Only Masechet Sofrim mentions that we don't fast during Nisan except the day before Pesach. Bechorot, it's a custom that the firstborn fast. There is a Yerushalmi that seems to suppose, it's what's called a Havamina in Aramaic, what we first suppose that Rebbe was a firstborn, and that's why he fasted the day before Pesach. But in the end, Yerushalmi does not conclude that way. So it seems like neither in Babylonian Talmud nor in what's called Jerusalem Talmud, in the Talmud of the land of Israel, neither of them support this custom to fast. The Babylonian Talmud just doesn't mention it at all, and some of the Rishonim also don't mention it. This whole idea of fasting the day before Pesach is not mentioned in Rambam, for instance. But still, the custom is that this fast is obligatory, and that's what Shulchan Aruch paskins. And because this fast, it's from the beginning was not so clear, and wasn't so obvious if we should really fast, if the firstborn should really fast the day before Pesach. That's why there are a lot of leniencies with regards to this fast. Many people, for instance, attend a what's called siyum. Certainly, if there is another occasion, if there is a brit milah or some other celebration, but the most common one that's easy to do, and that is if somebody in a synagogue finishes a tractate of the Talmud and makes a siyum, a small meal on occasion of finishing the tractate, then everybody who is invited to eats, and then once they eat already in the morning, they're allowed to eat the rest of the day as well. Even the Vilna Gaon, who was generally very strict with most of the laws of Shulchan Aruch and of course the Talmud, he was very generally his psaks are more on the stringent side, but he also it's testified in the book called Ma'aserav, where the personal customs of the Vilna Gaon abroad. It's testified that he also tried to find a siyum. He didn't want to fast the day before Pesach. He was a bechor, by the way. He was a firstborn. He redeemed himself 6 times from different Kohanim because of an uncertainty who is a kosher Kohen today, who has a true lineage, a kosher lineage as a Kohen. So he was very strict with all kinds of things. So firstborn has to be redeemed, and he redeemed himself from 6 different Kohanim, it says. But with regards to the firstborn fasting before Pesach, in this he was lenient and tried to find a way to relief, to allow not to fast. And like I said, the meal on occasion of a mitzvah, like a siyum, is a great idea to do it. Some people say that even if you hear it over the phone, let's say you're far away somewhere where there is nobody who could do a siyum, or maybe traveling or whatever, the person may be in a place, or he's not capable of finishing a tractate of the Talmud. So then there is still a possibility to do this over the phone, according to some opinions. Hear the siyum, live translation of the siyum, and that's all of these leniencies are because we're just in general not very strict with this fast, especially since we don't really want people to be extra hungry right before Pesach Seder, and then it's going to be hard for them. They'll just want to eat quickly. They don't want to really sit and listen to Agada for a long time because they'll be so hungry. By the way, there is an opinion in one of the Rishonim that this fast is not really a fast altogether. You shouldn't be eating bread, but meaning if you're a firstborn. But you don't have to completely fast. Of course, normally the definition of a fast means you don't eat, you don't drink. But here, maybe it's not really a full-fledged fast that we're talking about, whatever was instituted. But as I said, there is no clear source for this fasting anyway, except for Masechet Sofrim. So that's why people are extra lenient. And I hope this month of Nisan will bring us a redemption, and true peace on Israel, just like we were redeemed in this month over 3,000 years ago. That again, this wonderful month of Nisan, the Chodesh Ha-Aviv, the month of spring, as the Torah calls it, will be the month that will save the Jewish people from all our enemies, and that true peace will come to everyone.